Most of us love to consume coffee, but we try not to consume coffee close to bedtime so that we don't get sleepy. And if we still want to drink coffee, we think of decaffeinated coffee. So what is decaffeinated coffee and how is it produced? Decaffeination is a physical and chemical process that aims to remove most, if not all, caffeine from coffee. The threshold for a coffee to be considered decaffeinated is 0.1% caffeine in Europe, compared to less than 3% in the US. Decaffeination is often associated with less flavored coffee because it's a bit difficult to extract just the caffeine from among the many flavor chemicals without touching those flavors, and properly roasting decaffeinated beans requires a difficult process. Decaffeination is done in raw coffee beans before roasting. Traditional methods: organic solvent extraction, water decaffeination, and supercritical carbon dioxide extraction methods. First, let's remember briefly what caffeine is, and then let's see how we can separate this caffeine from coffee. Caffeine is a compound known worldwide because it is found in many commonly consumed foods and beverages. It has many natural resources such as coffee beans, cocoa beans, tea leaves. It has the systematic name 3,7-dihydro-1,3,7-trimethyl-1-H-purine-2,6-dione with the chemical formula C8H10N402. The effects of caffeine on the human body are well known. In low doses, caffeine is a stimulant and allows the drinker to increase concentration and reduce fatigue. However, consuming higher doses of caffeine can cause insomnia, irritability, and mood swings, among other side effects. The biological effects of caffeine are explained by mimicking adenosine in general. The caffeine content of coffee varies according to the type of bean. While green Robusta coffee beans contain about 2.2% caffeine by mass, this rate is 1.2% for green Arabica beans. You can get more information about caffeine from our article here. How is decaffeination made? The commonly used method for the separation of caffeine from the bean is based on solvent extraction. The extraction method is based on the solubility of caffeine in various organic solvents such as dichloromethane, alcohol, acetone, chloroform, and water. When the decaffeination process was invented in the early 1900s by German coffee merchant Ludwig Roselius, benzene was used as a solvent. However, nowadays benzene is no longer used in this process as it is known how toxic and carcinogenic benzene is. Solvent decaffeination requires soaking green coffee beans in a solvent to remove the caffeine. There are two types of solvent decaffeination methods: indirect and direct. In direct solvent decaffeination, green coffee beans are steamed to open their pores before being dipped in solvent. The two most commonly used solvents today are methylene chloride and ethyl acetate. The beans, which are kept in a selected solvent, are then steamed again, dried and roasted. These processes ensure that no residual solvent is left in the core. Soaking the coffee beans in the solvent removes the caffeine dissolved in the solvent. In the indirect method, the chemical substance does not touch the beans. It is simply added to the caffeine-laden water in which the beans are soaked for hours. After the chemicals are bound to the caffeine, the solution is brought back to the seeds. In both processes, the solvents are rinsed or evaporated from the green beans, and most of the solvent, if any, is evaporated again during roasting. You can drink your coffee after this process with peace of mind because as a result of the process, only trace amounts of solvent are found in your coffee. In conclusion, decaffeinated coffee, like coffee itself, is healthy as long as it is part of a healthy diet. The decaffeination process itself is completely healthy and does not pose any health risks to you. However, in order for decaffeination to remain healthy and safe, companies that perform decaffeination must be strictly supervised and make sure that the solvent chemicals that are part of the decaffeination process in coffee beans remain below the accepted values. For example, less than 10 parts per 10 million of methylene chloride should be present after decaffeination.